Okay, hey, thank you for asking questions. I guess I should introduce myself, although you probably know who I am because if you're watching this video, you're seeing it either on the Facebook page at Dave Delaney Me, or you're seeing this in my email newsletter, which would probably mean that the video is being hosted on YouTube. So you're seeing this video on YouTube or on Facebook, and that much I know, and that's great. Thank you for being here. So if you are seeing this video and you don't know what the heck is going on, I'm Dave Delaney. I run a little newsletter, an email newsletter called nicemaker.co, not .com, .co. And this is my first video, so pretty soon I'll realize where I'm supposed to point in order to point at the words. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, the purpose of these videos is to answer your questions. So it's almost like an ask me anything kind of deal. And I won't bore you with all of those details, but what I will do is answer the question that I got this week and this will be the first video, and hopefully I'm going to make more in the future based on your feedback. If you say, Dave, you suck, that's good. That's good to know. Good feedback. Good feedback. A little harsh. And if I was like a slick YouTuber, that's when I would do that hard edit, and then the extreme close up of me in the camera, a little harsh, and then I'd be like right back to the thing. So, but I'm not a slick YouTube person, so this is what you get. Anyway, Mary, it's funny. I believe I pronounced your last name Nunnally, and I believe that's correct. I don't know for sure if that is correct. But anyway, Mary not only asked me a question, she asked, what equipment do you need to start podcasting? And this is a great question. So, very quickly, my background in podcasting started in 2005. I started listening to podcasts in 2004. Then I started a podcast with my wife called Two Boobs and a Baby. Again, extreme close-up with a weird face. We had a parenting podcast all about, becoming first time and then suddenly second time parents. And so, so that show was all about that. It was kind of a comedy of errors. Each episode was like, half an hour, and we did it for 3 years, although we didn't do that many episodes, but we try to keep it regular. But apparently you can't be consistent when you have a baby or babies. A little trickier then. At any rate, so I've been podcasting. I've had several different podcasts over the years. My last podcast can be found at nbnradio.com. It's called New Business Networking Radio, which is named after my book. And I did 53 episodes, which were all interviews with authors, entrepreneurs, business leaders, people, all about networking for your business and things. And I've been a big fan of podcasts, not just a producer podcast, but also I've done podcasting workshops. I did a great one with Jeff Brown over at the Read to Lead podcast, and he also teaches how to create podcasts. So we did like a hands-on in-person workshop, which was a lot of fun with people, and that was great. So I've been in the game a long time. I'm not currently podcasting, although who knows, maybe these things will become podcasts. You never know. But the question Mary asked was, what equipment do you need for podcasting to get started? And the answer is based off, there's a Chase Jarvis, who's a well-known photographer. He has this line. It's the camera you need. Let me read the quote because I'm making a fool of myself. The best camera is the one that's with you. The best camera is the one that's with you. Meaning when you are inspired to create something, just do it. Just create it. And, I often look at I have friends who are musicians and artists and some that are, still on the fence about getting started, like in their careers. And, you listen to like old demos. My son's iPod is going off. You look at like early Jimi Hendrix, demos, and they're kind of crappy. I mean, he's an amazing guitarist, sure, but like the sound quality is not great. And there's a lot of early stuff like that where the earliest work is just not as great as the current work. But the thing is, you need to get started in order to do stuff, much like this video, which I hope will improve over time. You just need to get started and you need to do stuff. right? And it doesn't mean that you're like, I hope I've got a microphone, I've got a camera. So, I mean, I'm making sure I'm using some software here to help. So I'm hoping you see this and that it looks okay and that you can hear me okay. But that all said, so it doesn't mean like just start baking a pie with no ingredients or idea of how to bake. I mean, you need some ideas. And so getting back to that question of what equipment do you need to start podcasting? I don't think you really need anything super slick. When Heather and I started podcasting, we had like a little USB microphone that plugged into the computer, and that's what we used. Then I got super fancy, and I dug this up to show you this. And if you're old school, you will know what this is. And maybe if I hold it right, there you go. You see that? It's a little out of focus. Hold on. Come on, camera. This is called an iRiver. Oh, anyway, you get the idea. And this has like little holes in the sides, one for headphones, one for a microphone. And I used to record our podcast on this. Then I moved up to, and I don't have it handy, I should have brought it with me. I moved up to a Zoom H2 recorder, which kind of looks like a big fat sort of taser. Not a gun, but like I don't know, a big kind of rectangular, thick block. And I got to turn my son's phone on silent. And so I recorded with that, and the sound was pretty good. And then the most recent thing I bought, which is a number of years ago now, is this microphone, which I'm using right now. And it looks like the Loch Ness Monster, and that's why it's called Nessie. Blue have been in the business for a long time making podcast microphones, and they're reliable and they do a good job. This thing was like $100. So you really don't need more than that. I've always used Audacity, which is open source, free software to edit and mix audio. You get different levels, different wave files, so you can add your intro music, outro music, and all that stuff. But again, it depends it depends really on why you're podcasting and what it's all about. So quality, I mean, quality is important, obviously, to a point. Like if you listen to it and it just sounds like garbage, then people aren't going to listen. So you want it to sound decent. So $100 for a decent microphone. You do see like fancy podcasters who have like the huge microphone, with the arm hanging down and the big, like with the Blue Nessie. I'll tell you a little hack for like popping peas or if I'm recording like outside on the deck or something, you stick a sock over this, and basically like a sock, and it blocks the wind. So it's sort of like a low budge version of using an actual real like big microphone with an actual what is it? See, I don't even know what they're called. I can't remember what they're called, but you know what I'm talking about. The spongy, puffy things, and you're like, yes, I know what you're talking about. But you don't need those. Those mics are like a few $100. Maybe as low as a couple $100 now, but I don't really believe you need that necessarily. At least at first, I think you should try to get your podcast to where you like it and your audience likes it. More importantly, and then start using a better mic. So I hope that answers your question. It was nice to revisit my little iRiver little MP3 recorder, and I'm approaching 10 minutes now, so that's probably way too long for this video, and I'll try to keep these shorter. If you're not subscribed already, go over to nicemaker.co. You see the URL right there. I'll get that right eventually. Nicemaker.co. You can go there and subscribe to the newsletter, and that's where I ask you questions and you can reply, and then I'll do more of these videos in the future based on your questions. So hopefully I can do that. Now I've got to figure out how to turn this thing off. Oh, there's a finish button. Look at that. All right, thanks for being here. Peace. Should I say Gucci? Did you see 8th Grade? Man, I love that movie. If you haven't seen the movie 8th Grade, highly recommend you watch that. Okay, bye.